buying high PA or page authority Web 2s for your networks. Yeah, that's great. In fact, we talked about this, I believe, in the advanced strategy webinar a little bit, and also on one of the previous Hump Day Hangouts. You can actually pump the page authority of your own Web 2s if you're using other link building tools such as a GSA search engine ranker, that's typically, or FCS networker. Those are two great ways to pump page authority for your Web 2 properties and your IFTTT networks. So you can do that on your own, again using PBN sites to point links to your IFTTT network properties. That will also pump page authority. If you want to go out and buy them already, yeah, you can. SEOclerks.com, you can buy, I know there's a provider there, I've purchased some of them, where you can buy like high page authority and PageRank Tumblr accounts, and they're pretty decent prices. I think it's like $20 for a PR3, and they'll send, I know there's a provider there, guys. I don't have the link right offhand, but I may share that with you guys if you want. But yeah, there's certainly nothing wrong with that. You can build an actually a nice little Tumblr network from buying those high page authority expired Tumblr sites, and I've gotten a PageRank 5. I think I paid $100 or $110 for the PageRank 5 Tumblr site, and it was very powerful. It had a page authority of like 58, so very high with a PageRank of 5, and it worked well too. So yeah, if you want to do that, you can, or you can pump the page authority on your own, and that'll save you some money. Like if you're already using other link building tools, FCS Networker will do that, GSA. God forbid any of you guys are using SE Nuke still or Magic Submitter, then you could do it with those as well. Spam tools, in other words. Okay. Also, remember, building tiered networks, guys, is going to increase the page authority of, the closer you get towards your money site, the higher the page authority will build, because you've got the tiered network structure, right? You've got the tiered links funneling juice back down, and the more they funnel to the narrower channels, right, which is getting closer to your money site, the higher the page authority will go. So you'll notice that too if you're using tiered networks. Note, this may be a bit overkill for ranking easy local keywords or video phrases, but are you using high domain authority properties as buffers for any other type of more aggressive link building? Think Jimmy Kelly domain authority stacking style. Casey, that is a little beyond the scope of probably what we'd want to talk about during a Hump Day Hangout. That's something that typically we talk more about in the mastermind, because it's a bit more advanced, number one. Number two, it's a bit black hat, and I don't want to kind of give away the black hat secrets here. But yeah, anytime, just like I said with the IFTTT networks, it's great to use those as like a firewall, okay, to protect your site from any kind of black hat stuff that you're doing, aggressive link building tactics, anything like that. You want to do those to your network properties instead of directly to your money site. In fact, using like GSA and things, guys, I don't recommend using those tools at Tier 2, which means building links to your Tier 1 properties. I don't recommend that unless you're really, really skilled with the tool. FCS Networker, that's different. You could get away with that at Tier 2 as long as you once again, you're still skilled with it, but you've got a lot more leeway with that because you're using high domain authority properties in FCS Networker anyways. But with GSA, it's a pure spam tool, right? So if you guys are going to be using tools like that, I would recommend only building links at Tier 3 and beyond, which means there's 2 hops between the spam links and your money site, right? You'd have 2 tiers of buffer sites, Tier 1 and Tier 2, if that makes sense. And again, that's a bit more advanced, but definitely if you want to do that sort of thing, you can do it. Just be careful if you're going any closer than Tier 3 with spam tools. You've got to be really skilled with the tool, or you'll get yourself into trouble. Okay. Let me see if there's any questions that have come in. 1 second. Okay. Everybody can hear and see me just fine, right? Adam, you checked it on the event page, is that right?
Yeah, you're looking good.
Okay. All right. All right, so Brian Lichtig, he's been following us for a while. Let's see, he says, looking to rank this link on our webpage a little higher for the keywords, Columbia, Maryland IT support, and Columbia, Maryland IT, or Columbia MD IT support, so the abbreviation. I've added several backlinks and done all that I can think of. Any help would be great. Try to get up on the first page. Well, Brian, since you posted the link, you must not care. So if you don't mind, I'm going to take a look at this. Okay, without doing anything at all, the first thing I would suggest is more content. Very first thing I would suggest is more content. That's very thin on content. Okay, I would put at least 600-800 words. In fact, more is better. and that way you can work in a lot of variations, or LSI, or in the semantic web you can call them co-occurring keywords. That's what I would do, number one. Number two, the first thing that I would do, or the second thing that I would do, I should say, is I'm going to go take a look at SEO Central. And Brian, I know that we've been through this before, so let me just pull this up so I can take a quick look, because I could tell just from looking at it very quickly that I think it's over optimized. And we're going to check submit here and take a look at it. All right, so remember, for single word keyword density, guys, and here I'll put the link for SEO Central on the event page so you guys can take a look at this tool. Share that. That should show up in just a moment. When you're looking at on a page-by-page basis, and that's what I love about this tool, is it will look on a page-by-page basis, and it will give you the percentages, the frequency and the percentages of the terms, okay? And this looks at the whole entire page, guys. This does not just look at the content body. So, for example, many of the plugins that you guys can use for WordPress sites that will do SEO analysis of a page or a post, it only looks at the content within the actual page of the post. It does not look at the site in its entirety, the entire page. Does that make sense? With SEO Central, it does. And remember, Google looks at the entire page. It doesn't just read what's here. Okay? It looks at the entire page. And so even those, like for example, well, Yoast, the Yoast SEO plugin, it will do a page analysis, but it's only analyzing the content within the body of the page of the post. So if you've got your keywords in the header, if you've got your keywords in the sidebar, if you've got your keywords in the footer, any widget area at all, then you can very easily be over-optimized for your page. Because it's not, even though the Yoast plugin is going to give you that green indicator light, which, by the way, don't pay attention to that crap, because a lot of the metrics that they use in there to give you that green light are wrong, and I would not suggest using them. And there's a ton of other SEO plugins that will give you suggestions too, guys, but it's only going to analyze the content within the page of the post, not the entire page. Does that make sense? So first things first, when you're looking at SEO Central, for your one-word terms, you do not want to go above 2%. Okay, and you've got, because support is a lot. Now again, one reason why that it's very easy for you to go above those thresholds, Brian, with this page, is because there's very little content. One way to get your numbers down is not to necessarily remove keywords, but it's to add more words, okay, so that you're diluting the keyword density. All right, and that's why I suggest using more content on a page than less content, because the less content you have, the easier it is to trip these these filters to break the threshold. You know what I'm saying? So in this case, support is a bit high. It's quite a bit higher than it should, and so is computer. Okay, you're 2.77 there. That should be under 2%. Guys, if you have keywords as your business name, it's going to be difficult to sometimes get below these thresholds because your business name is your keywords. It's part of the reason I suggest not doing that, especially like exact match domains and that sort of thing. I don't suggest it. But if you already have it, then you just have to deal with it. And there's times you're going to go above these thresholds, and that's okay. Just be aware that you have to, you're treading a thin line. Okay, so Baltimore Computer, you can see, by the way, for two-word terms, you should not be above 1%. So I can see that there's a few terms here. And again, these all have to do with your brand mainly, but they're a bit high. And if you go down to the three-word terms, which is going to be all the way down here, you'll see you don't really want to go above 0.2%. And again, I know that's difficult. Like Baltimore Computer Solutions is your brand name, so that's going to be extremely high because it's shown several times on here. Again, shown in your header. It's probably, let's see, it's shown over here in these testimonial boxes. It's also shown right here. It's also shown in your, your URL, right? It's also shown in your email here, and it's also shown in the footer right here. So you've got many occurrences of Baltimore Computer Solutions, and I know that's not the keyword that you're trying to rank for that particular phrase. You're looking for Columbia, Maryland IT support. But you have to keep in mind that if your page is over-optimized for any term whatsoever, it's going to pull it down, all right? So even if you're not over-optimized for your target keyword, if you're over-optimized for any keyword phrase whatsoever, it's going to pull that whole, the performance of that whole page down, and in turn can pull the performance of your entire site down. So just keep that in mind. So without beating you up, Brian, I can see that you've got Baltimore Computer Solutions again right there, and I think you've got it right here as well. So you can see that you've got 9 occurrences of Baltimore Computer Solutions. This should be no more than about a 0.2%. Again, with a little bit of content, it's going to be difficult to get it down that low, but I would remove it. There's no question who this company is that's providing these services here, because it's pasted all over your site. So you can lose it in here, in the content. So how do you get some better content for this? My suggestion, Brian, I've mentioned this before, would be to maybe do a screencast video and talk about what kind of services you provide. You could you do like a talking head where you're talking into the camera if you'd like. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, you could do just a screencast video, like a slideshow type video, something like that. Talk about the services that you provide, why you're better than other people, and then you could have that video transcribed, and you could have that transcription with a little bit of editing as the page content along with the video. Embed the video. That's going to improve the SEO of this page. But get rid of the over-optimization. Even with just your company name, Baltimore Computer Solutions, it's all over this page already. There's no question who's going to provide those services. Okay? I hope that makes sense.